Well, welcome back to the game, everybody. This is Robert. We're continuing our game of Edge of the Empire, the beginner game. Our characters have now made their way to spaceport control. They've got the device that they need to use to repair the ship that they're going to steal, but first they need to unlock it, basically. Some way to release its docking bay clamps that have it secured in place. So the place to do that is spaceport control. Let's zoom in for a closer look. As we stated in the previous video, there are a couple of security droids standing there at attention around the entrance. Let's just put them here and here. A little bit of room to get by, but obviously enough seen that they will scare off anyone that's attempting to try to break into this place or cause any trouble. But our characters, scoundrels that they are, that's exactly what they're attempting to do. Well, the main idea for this bit of action was put forward by Odgonar Wickmark, playing Oscara. He said that he'd like to work with Daniel Reed, who's playing the Wookiee here. They want to try to create a diversion, some sort of distraction, something to pull these droids away from their posts. And they said that they might simulate some sort of brawl or something, trying to lure them away. And then if they can get them away from their posts, sort of around the corner, they might even try to take them out. But this is definitely something that is an attempt to deceive. So let's see if they can pull this off. Meanwhile, we're going to have Vex and Pash kind of hiding a bit back and away from these two. The party's technically splitting here. So we're going to see if they can pull these guys away from their posts, and then the other two player characters will try to sneak in. But let's see if they can do this. Let's take a look at Oscara here, the bounty hunter. Deceit. Looking at it right there. We do have a rank, so we're going to be going with a yellow and a green. With the Wookiee's assistance, we're going to add a boost die to this. So the first thing we ought to do is get our pool together. We've got a green and a yellow, and then we're going to add one of these light blue boost dice to the roll. Well, now let's see what kind of difficulty they're going to have. Well, these droids are pretty well disciplined. They're programmed to guard this entrance very carefully. They are going to use one of these red challenge dice. And this particular plan, although it doesn't directly engage with the droids, it's an attempt to cause a distraction out on the street and hopefully pull them away. So since they're not directly spoken to, called for, that sort of thing, we're going to probably give here a little setback die. And that's based on the guidelines from the adventure book. So let's see how this might play out. So let's get this in our heads now. Oscara and the Wookiee are near the entrance to spaceport control. The security droids are standing at attention. A brawl, an argument breaks out, and then a brawl follows between the Wookiee and the Twi'lek. And they start exchanging insults and blows. And they're moving around, knocking each other around, trying to put on a good show, hopefully getting the droids' attention so that they will step down and break up the fight. Well, let's see how the droids may react to this. Hey, we've got one success. So looking at the die results, what did we have? We had a threat and an advantage that canceled. And then we had 2 successes rolled, but 1 failure on the setback die. So a net result of 1 success. It looks like the guards are going to be pulled away from their stations a little bit. Well, let's imagine that as the brawl is taking place out around the steps, it just doesn't seem to be pulling these guys off of their posts. So they sort of maneuver up the steps, letting their brawl move them around the area, and they get up there and the Wookiee knocks Oskara right into the droid, knocking him back. And the Wookiee follows, of course, attempting to continue his attacks. And the other security droid steps over, and both of them start working together to try to break up the fight. And knowing that the other player characters are going to be trying to sneak in behind them, they kind of move around here to try to block line of sight. So these guys are slipping in right here and heading inside past the office here into the main control room. Alright, well here they come towards the main control room. It says you step through the doorway into a large chamber crowded with computer equipment and centered around a large holo display showing a plot of the local aerospace. Standing in front of the display with her arms folded behind her back is a human woman. Just put her right there. She appears to be in charge, and as you watch, she speaks into a headset in a formal, commanding tone. Imperial Shuttle, Lambda 11238. This is Overseer Bryn with Spaceport Control. You are cleared for landing. Welcome to SWEotE. A half-dozen technicians of different species work at consoles, and 2 security droids stand near the doorway. So I don't have tokens for all of the different technicians, but we do have some for the droids who might offer up some resistance. We're going to put these around here, on this side and this side, sort of covering the right and the left of this main control room. As you enter the room here, it says your attention is pulled to the floor-to-ceiling transperistyle windows against the far wall, right up here. They look out over the desert of Tatooine, and in the distance you can see an Imperial shuttle is coming in for a landing. And for scoundrels like yourselves, that's never a good sign. Alright, team number 1 was successful. It's now up to team number 2 here, Pash and Vex. You've made it past the first set of droids thanks to your other party members. Obviously these droids are not on full alert yet. None of the droids have been attacked. They don't have a reason to react with hostility. You may eventually draw some attention, but right now people are busy working and there's been no major disturbance inside or any direct conflict with the droids outside to put everybody on high alert. So you've got some time and you've got a few options you can consider. Well, according to the adventure book, as we are all learning this game together, let's look at the suggested courses of action. One possible action is to try to convince the Overseer to unlock the docking clamps. This could be some sort of clever story you come up with, and it could be a charm or a coerce or a deceit check, and it's going to be opposed by her discipline. Just to give you an idea, she is a little bit harder to manipulate than the droids outside, so she's going to be rolling 1 purple and an upgraded purple which turns into a red. So 1 purple, 1 red. And that's your first option there. A second option would be to maybe try to get over here to one of the computers and slice the computers and just release those docking clamps yourselves. So no one is really paying you that much of attention at this point. So it is possible that you could just simply walk up and see what you could accomplish. This would be an average computers check. That's going to be 2 purple dice rolling against you there. And there could be some consequences if anything bad comes up, of course. That's going to be true for both of these courses of action. But there you go. If you want to try something face-to-face with the Overseer, probably Pash would be the person to lead that one. And then if you want to do something by slicing, which is basically the Star Wars term for hacking into the computer systems and trying to do it yourself, that would be up to Vex. So there's always a third option that's listed right here in the book, and that is, you know, you just pull out your guns and start blasting. That's certainly an option. So let me know what you'd like to do, and we'll move the story forward. Thanks, everybody.